Well, the closing ceremony just to get underway at the Centurion. We head down to Katrina LeMaydon and Dustin Nielsen.
As we get set to wrap up 2 weeks of great competition here in Red Deer with the closing ceremony, it's safe to say that this community and all the surrounding communities did an excellent job hosting the 2019 games.
They did. It was great to see the entire country come here to Central Alberta, and the athlete performances were incredible. It's been a cold couple of weeks, and a lot of the performances were outdoor, but still records were smashed. So the athletes that are going to be entering are going to be extremely pleased.
When we look at it from the host province perspective, Alberta had finished fourth at a lot of games. Their goal this time was to finish better than that, and that's what they did.
They did. They ended up third place with 100 medals. Another record, and that was for Alberta. And of course, it was topped off with an incredible gold medal by women's hockey.
Yeah, that was at the downtown arena today. Completely packed. Perfect way to wrap it up. A very dramatic finish for the Alberta women's hockey team to win the gold medal there. Thousands of athletes have come to Red Deer and competed. They will take back stories of their own to their own hometowns. Final chapter coming up here with the closing ceremony.
The Red Deer 2019 Canada Winter Games are presented by Nova Chemicals, developing and manufacturing chemicals and plastic resins that make everyday life safer, healthier, and easier. By Hotels Red Deer, working as one to create a better destination experience. By IFR Workwear, family is your priority, your workwear is ours. By On the Run, proud sponsor of the Canada Winter Games. On the Run, making the most of every stop. And by Travel Alberta, wander within reach this winter.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs. Bienvenue à Red Deer en Alberta pour les cérémonies de clôture des Jeux d'hiver du Canada 2019. Welcome to Red Deer, Alberta, and the closing ceremony of the 2019 Canada Winter Games.
Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mélanie Paré, and tonight we are ready to get our celebration started right here, right now in Red Deer, Alberta. Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome les athlètes des Jeux d'hiver du Canada 2019, the 2019 Canada Games athletes.
Well, what an excellent way to begin the closing ceremony as we have our parade of athletes. And it's excellent because these athletes weren't with us at the opening ceremony, so they get their own opportunity, Katrina, to take advantage of all that the games can offer them.
That's right. So week 1 athletes have the opening ceremony. Week 2 athletes have the closing ceremony. And often people ask, which do you like better? The opening is much more structured. As we see the athletes enter, it's less formal. The closing ceremony is more of a party for them. The stress has gone. They're celebrating what they've accomplished. They're celebrating all their new friends, and probably the 20th sport of the games, the pin trading.
The pin trading. It's still happening even at a closing ceremony?
Oh, it is happening. It'll probably happen at the airport tomorrow.
It's funny you mentioned the pin trading because I was at the Canada Games Center, which is a great legacy facility here for Red Deer community, and maybe we'll talk about that in a second. But I bumped into a couple of people and I said, why are you in town? They're like, I come for the pin trading. I'm handling the pin trading. It was crazy to believe.
Oh my goodness, so you have not seen my lanyard and my kids, I have to keep the pins from them. So it's interesting as the athletes come in, many of them wearing their medals that they've won, and definitely a celebration for them. But this has been an incredible couple of weeks, like we've mentioned, just for Red Deer and area. Of course, athletes were in Calgary, Kananaskis, but really amazing in how they've dealt with the cold weather, how they've just, put in a spectacular games together.
Over 500 medals were awarded here in Red Deer, and we saw British Columbia come in. They ended up finishing 4th in our medal standings with 87 medals. Manitoba, 25 medals, including 9 gold medals. And even if these kids, for a lot of them, the majority of them aren't going to have a medal, but also being here at these ceremonies, a pride of accomplishment for getting here and competing in your sport, right?
Oh my goodness. And you know, when you talk about Manitoba, the speed skaters were really dominant in the first week. I talked earlier about records. At the Oval at Great Chief Park, fast ice, Red Deer is known for that. Canada Games records were smashed. Understand, 4 years ago, the speed skating took place indoor. So that is the level of athletes and the level of competition that we have seen over the last 2 weeks.
It's funny you mentioned the long track. I had a chance to broadcast short track for the first time for me watching it, but that day, 3 different athletes set a new Canada Games record on the short track in the 1,000 meter, and that's just one day, one event. So I'm imagining a lot of other records probably fell as well.
Well, and you know, it's amazing as we talk about venues and about legacy, because it's about leaving those legacies in a community of structures, of facilities, but also of programs, of clubs, as we see New Brunswick come in. And you know what we talked about, you know, the athletes and their accomplishments. Probably one of the highlights was watching New Brunswick win its only gold medal, and that was in boxing. And I know you were there one night, and it was the night of the finals.
It was the night of the finals.
Yeah, and just to be able to see these provinces and territories supporting each other. They haven't usually met each other until they come to a multi-sport games like this. So it becomes more than just about their own sport, and you know, that for sure would be one of the highlights for me, is that night at boxing.
Well, yeah, and you know, it's funny you mentioned the multi-sport, because I had a lot of opportunities to interview hockey players, both men and women, during our hockey broadcasts, and when you ask them about their games experience, they said it's so rare for us. We play in a lot of hockey tournaments everywhere, but they're just hockey tournaments. And now to be here and mix and probably make a lot of friendships. We see Quebec come in right now. Quebec had 65 golds and 146 medals, led the way here at the Canada Games. But to develop relationships with athletes in other sports, that'll probably live for the rest of your life, I would think.
For sure. Some of the best memories I have were from my Canada Games that I experienced. Athletes that I didn't know from other sports, athletes from other provinces and territories. And you know, I have to remind everybody that the Canada Games are unique. Nobody else in the world does this. It's a multi-sport experience at the highest youth level, and many of these athletes, it will be the pinnacle of their sporting career, but for others, they go on to Olympics, to Paralympics, and to World Games.
Well, we saw a few athletes here win 2, possibly even 3 gold medals at these games. Some of them will be flag bearers that we will see a little bit later on here in the closing ceremony. Prince Edward Island coming out here with a 2-medal performance. They got a silver, they got a bronze. I saw a few of them. We were talking about it actually back to short track again, Susan Hawk and myself. Just the fact that a few of the Prince Edward Island skaters were into the semifinal heats was a major accomplishment for that province.
It's building the sports within each province and territory. You know, remembering that PEI will be hosting the next Canada Winter Games in 2023. And many people say, how will they do that with a Winter Games? Well, you know, the Canada Games Council works closely with each province and territory as they develop it, and they will probably be using perhaps some surrounding provinces and using their legacy facilities as well from previous games.
Nova Scotia, 1 gold medal, 11 medals overall as they come in the bright blue jackets here. You mentioned the legacy. That Canada Games Center is absolutely phenomenal. And one of the events we did, there were both badminton and squash. But squash, one thing we talked about during that broadcast was the fact that it could be a national training facility for squash. 4 squash courts in there, excellent gym, a track, all the facilities right there. I'd have to think that, you know, probably, you tell me, what is it, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years from now, you start to see some of the athletes coming out of Red Deer that maybe were inspired by these games?
For sure. I mean, if we take a sport like biathlon, there is no biathlon club in Red Deer at this moment, and yet you have shown the community what this sport is about. And Riverbend, where they had cross country and biathlon, it is now set up for international competition. 4 years ago, Prince George hosted the Canada Winter Games. They just last weekend, Prince George hosted the World Nordic Championships. That's what these games do. They build clubs, they build facilities, they build legacies so that a community can host not just national competitions, but international competitions as well.
That's such a nice legacy to see here for the city of Red Deer, who's done a phenomenal job. Newfoundland and Labrador with a gold and a bronze here at the Canada Games in Red Deer. As you see all the athletes, these are only the athletes that were here once again for the second week of competition, and there are more to come as we have the closing ceremonies of the 2019 Games in Red Deer. Welcome back, everyone, to the Centrium in Red Deer as we are working our way through the closing ceremony of the 2019 Canada Games, celebrating the future of sport in Canada, and Northwest Territories managing to come through right now. They did get a bronze here at the Games. They're one medal, it was a bronze, and they're here to celebrate.
That's right, that bronze in judo. And, you know, for a lot of these smaller jurisdictions and for some of the territories, getting on the podium is what they want to do, getting on that medal standing. So a huge accomplishment for them.
Bright green jackets. We know where they're from. You're not wearing one, but you'll get one later. Saskatchewan.
I can only hope.
Saskatchewan had 3 gold medals, 3 silvers, and 11 bronzes here at the Red Deer Games for a total of 17 medals. And, you know, as all the athletes come in, you know, one of the things that we haven't hit on, I do want to quickly get to it because everywhere I turned this week, there was a volunteer. And I don't think this, like, everywhere. There were volunteers for everything, and I don't know, well, I know you couldn't put a games like this on at all, let alone one that runs really smoothly without the volunteers here.
Over 5,000 volunteers, and you know, times I was talking to the athletes and they just said, oh my goodness, the volunteers have been so great, standing out in the cold, cheering them on, welcoming them, and you know, it has been just so great to see. And the volunteers, when you talk to them, it has been an incredible experience for them to meet a lot of these young athletes.
Yeah, I think a lot of volunteers have really enjoyed themselves as well as Yukon trails in here after Saskatchewan. Yukon also, like the Northwest Territories, did get 1 bronze medal, so they too found their way to a podium. For some of these provinces that aren't going to get 140 medals like Quebec,
that's right.
I mean, their goal is to go in and get a medal here and there, isn't it?
And it was in cross country, and I was out at Riverbend watching that race, and what a performance by that young woman, as she's already been to the World Championships in Finland, the World Juniors, and you know, just a great performance. And again, you talk about the volunteers all along that course. I think it was a 3.3 kilometer loop. The volunteers are cheering for them regardless if they're in first or in 40th. So it was really inspiring.
A look at Ontario, who came in here and are leaving with 18 gold medals, 105 medals overall, which would put them in second behind Quebec. So another good games from Ontario, which of course will be the host province in 2021. So a lot to build on for them here in Red Deer.
Yeah, Niagara region will be hosting the next Canada Games, the summer version. Again, it alternates every 2 years, but between summer and winter, as they sport the plaid. And
I was going to say, that's right up my alley.
But a lot of the teams, actually, they had plaid to their outfits or to their gear. And, you know, it's pretty neat how it goes with the trends. Yeah. And that's part of getting that kit that the athletes love as well. It's always fun.
I've got like 4 versions of this same shirt at home, so I like the way Ontario looks. I'm originally from British Columbia, and I live in Alberta now, but I like the way Ontario looks with the plaid here as well.
You know, as they come in and perhaps having wanted you know, maybe a couple more medals to be closer. You talked about that medal count, to be closer to Quebec, but as they will be the host in 2 years' time, they'll look for that home province advantage.
Yeah, and we will obviously discuss that with Alberta here as well. Ontario finishing with a few fewer medals than they had at the 2015 Games. But anytime a province comes home with over 100 medals, you've got to be pretty pleased, I would think.
For sure. I mean, Ontario is always a very strong province, a large team, and you know, they have a strong mission team. The mission team that has been around for years, they know how to develop as well.
And here is the host, Alberta, who had finished 4th all the time. Not this year, as they take home 36 golds, actually. Well, there's a few of them right there. It's gymnast, I believe. 36 gold medals, 100 medals total. For them to get to 100 medals in style today with a gold medal victory in women's hockey, that's got to be, I mean, the celebration was incredible. I called that game, but I think it probably meant just a little bit more.
Well, and the fact that Carla McLeod, who is the coach, won a gold medal as a player back in '95 when the games were in Alberta. And now she wins a gold as a coach when they're back in Alberta in 2019. So special for her, special for the team. And, you know, when we talk about those records, 100 medals, that's a huge milestone for them.
And, you know, I think it's special, too, with the coach who played in the games, becoming a coach and coaching more. As, you know, a big proponent of sports in Canada, you must be wanting to see that in every sport, in every level.
Well, and that, you know, Canada Games isn't just about developing the athletes. It is about developing coaches for that next generation. It's about developing the officials. And Canada Games takes a lot of pride in the fact that they have standards. You need to get a certain level of coaching to be at this level. And, I mean, for Carla McLeod, she's an incredible person. She's in the Canada Games Hall of Honor. She is now an athlete gold medalist, a coach gold medalist at these games. Of course, Olympic medalist as well.
Well, and maybe as you see the crowd here, look at that. Great shot of all these kids here. Over 1,000 of them on the floor in the Centrium for the closing ceremonies. Maybe you have the next great coach of the sport somewhere in this crowd as well. So as all of the athletes have come in, they will now wait, and we will have the flag bearers of each province coming in next.
And now, please welcome the flag bearers of the 2019 Canada Games teams. From British Columbia, Colombie-Britannique, carrying the flag, portant le drapeau, Wendy Zhang, badminton. From Manitoba, carrying the flag, portant le drapeau, Austin Taylor, archery. From New Brunswick, Nouveau-Brunswick, carrying the flag, portant le drapeau, Celine Kavanaugh, Para-Nordic. From Newfoundland and Labrador, Terre-Neuve et Labrador, carrying the flag, portant le drapeau, Melanie Taylor, Special Olympics figure skater. From Northwest Territories, Territoire du Nord-Ouest, carrying the flag, portant le drapeau, Wilson Elliott, judo. From Nova Scotia, Nouvelle-Écosse, carrying the flag, portant le drapeau, Brenda McDonald, para-alpine skiing, and Shane Summer, alpine skiing. From Nunavut, carrying the flag, portant le drapeau, Derek Akiagok, badminton. From Ontario, carrying the flag, portant le drapeau, Bella Crozier, women's curling. From Prince Edward Island, l'île du Prince-Édouard, carrying the flag, portant le drapeau, Kristen Arsenault, archery, and Mikey Perry, judo. gymnastic trampoline. From Saskatchewan, carrying the flag, portant le drapeau, Hunter Chipley, archery. From Yukon, carrying the flag, portant le drapeau, Natalie Hines, cross-country skiing. And now, la province haute des Jeux, the host province of the 2019 Canada Games, Alberta, carrying the flag, portant le drapeau, Kalina Sohn, gymnastics trampoline. Mesdames et messieurs, applaudissons nos athlètes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the athletes of the 2019 Canada Games.
Athletes, we want to hear you make some noise. Over the last 16 days, we've had a chance to welcome hundreds of artists as part of our ceremonies and the 52 North Music and Cultural Festival. Tonight, nous voulons accueillir, please join me in welcoming Red Deer's very own singer-songwriter, Kayla Williams.
Hello, bonjour Canada. We are so proud of all the athletes here tonight. I wrote this song just for you.
Where there's nothing to do and the ground is flat and the skies are blue. Everybody had nothing but time to dream about what life would be like. But we got bigger and so did our dreams. We found ourselves cheering for different teams with one thing that certain seems is home is in
The closing ceremony of the 2019 Canada Games in Red Deer will continue. Our national anthem is on the way next.
Et maintenant, pour interpréter l'hymne national en anglais, français et cri. And now, to perform our national anthem in English, French, as well as Cree, please welcome Asani. Veuillez accueillir le président du Conseil des Jeux du Canada. Please welcome the chair of the board of the Canada Games Council, Evan Johnston.
Well, Red Deer, this is your moment. After 16 days and over 150 events here in Red Deer, the word that comes to mind is wow. Quel jeu fantastique. For the past week, my wife Megan, my daughters Hallie and Jane have been inspired watching you, Canada's finest young athletes, perform at your best. We were amazed by the events for the whole family at the festival. We were humbled by the commitment of the volunteers. Girls, what was your favorite event?
Mine was the artistic gymnastics.
Jane?
Moi, j'aime le hockey.
Well, my favorite thing was watching the Canada Games through your eyes. Athletes, you wowed us with your commitment to excellence and sportsmanship. How about Team Nunavut? They made their first appearance in men's hockey. And they won that very first game. The next day in Iqaluit, kids playing street hockey were heard pretending to be Canada Winter Games athletes. One yelled, "Josie scores." referring to Josie Cote, who scored a hat trick in that game. Athletes, you are already role models to kids around the country. Et vous êtes une source d'inspiration. Red Deer, you wowed us with your enthusiasm and community spirit. To Lynn Radford and Scott Robinson and everyone at the Hostess Society, merci et bravo. Like the athletes, you prepared long and hard for these games and you delivered a gold medal performance. This was your moment and you nailed it. And to the volunteers, your friendly smiles and willingness to go the extra mile warmed us on those very cold days. Merci à tous les bénévoles. Athletes, we will always remember how you wowed us in Red Deer. We have no doubt you will continue to make us proud as you grow as athletes, grow as members of the community, and grow as Canadians. Some of you may go on to national and international competition, maybe even the Olympic Games. But the Canada Games are more than about sport. They're also about culture, diversity, inclusiveness. They are about building better Canadians. So more than anything, I hope you take the collective values and experiences that you're exposed to here at the Canada Games and use them to become better Canadians. And always, always wear that maple leaf with pride. Pour nous aider à célébrer. Now, let's welcome some of our Canadian Olympic and Paralympic heroes. Like you, some of them got their start here at the Canada Games.
Participant aux Olympiques de Los Angeles en 1984 dans le tir au pigeon d'argile. He competed for Canada in trap shooting at the Los Angeles Olympics in 1984. Pat Bottenheimer. Participant à 3 Jeux olympiques en biathlon, competing in 3 Olympic Games, Torino, Vancouver, and Sochi in biathlon. From Red Deer, Zina Coker. From Red Deer, participante en patin de vitesse aux Olympiques d'hiver de 1968 en France. Speed skater who competed in the 10th Winter Olympics in 1968 in France, Marsha Parson. Participante en hockey sur gazon aux Olympiques de 1988 et 1992. From Alberta, she was a starting member of the Canadian National Women's Field Hockey Team at the 1988 and 1992 Olympic Games, Michelle Kahn. From Red Deer, she competed for Canada at the 2016 Rio Paralympic in swimming. Participante en natation aux Jeux paralympiques de Rio 2016. Tammy Cunnington. Médaillée olympique de bronze en glissade skeleton. From Lacombe, Alberta, she competed in Torino, Vancouver, and Sochi. Olympic bronze medalist, Melissa Hollingsworth. And now, ladies and gentlemen, médaillée olympique de bronze et argent en ski acrobatique. She was in Salt Lake City in 2002 and Torino in 2006. Freestyle skier from Red Deer, Alberta. Bronze and silver Olympic medalist, Deidre Dion.
On behalf of all of us, I want each of you athletes to look to your left and look to your right and give yourselves a big round of applause. For many of you, this this might have been the performance of your life. You might be walking away with a medal. And for some of you, the performance was just getting here to wear the colors of your province. But all of it will make you a stronger athlete and will help you as you continue either this journey or the journey into the next aspect of your life. So thank you, because this community, the community we all grew up in and got our sports start, is a better place because of all of the passion you showed, whether it be standing at the gold medal spot on the podium or just crossing the finish line. But thank you for bringing all of your will, all of your might, and really performing to make this a great moment for the community of Red Deer. So thank you.
L'énergie est incroyable ici ce soir aujourd'hui, Red Deer. The energy is something else tonight here, Red Deer, as we celebrate together. It's such a privilege to be here with all of you. And I want one last time for us to give us a big shout out to all of the volunteers that have made this possible and got you here. So we're going to keep this party rolling. I'm going to toss this into the crowd. Who's going to get it? Now it's our pleasure. Nous sommes fiers de vous présenter ce soir our very own Franco-Albertan singer-songwriter, Monsieur Paul Cournoyer.
Salut tout le monde. On ne répond plus à l'appel, on poursuit des rêves empruntés, on voudrait couper les ficelles, mais on a trop peur de tomber, alors on devient fou, on ne se ressemble plus, on s'inquiète de tout ce qu'on aurait dû, tout d'un coup, on lève le nez au ciel, mais les étoiles ne nous guident plus, nous qui avons cru être forts, en vérité on mentait, on ne met plus le nez dehors, depuis que la terre tourne à l'envers, le monde est pendu à nos lèvres, il aurait besoin qu'on l'éclaire, c'est un nouveau jour qui se lève. Sera-t-il moins triste qu'hier? Sinon on devient fou, on ne se ressemble plus, on s'inquiète de tout ce qu'on aurait dû. Tout d'un coup, on lève le nez au ciel, mais les étoiles ne nous guident plus. On ne répond plus à l'appel, on poursuit des rêves empruntés, mais heureusement tu me constelles et me permets de naviguer. Sinon je deviens fou, je me ressemble plus, je m'inquiète de tout ce que j'aurais dû. Tu deviens fou, tu te ressembles plus, tu repenses à tout ce que t'aurais pu. Sinon je deviens fou, on ne se ressemble plus, on s'inquiète de tout ce qu'on a vu. Le vent souffle dans toutes les directions, on peut espérer que les étoiles nous guideront. Sinon on devient fou, on ne se ressemble plus, on s'inquiète de tout ce qu'on aurait dû. Et puis un jour, on touche à les distances, du bout des doigts, mais déjà c'est immense. Merci beaucoup, gang.
Still to come from Red Deer in the closing ceremony of the 2019 Canada Games, a performance from country music artist Gord Bamford.
Veuillez accueillir la présidente du Conseil de la Société haute des Jeux d'hiver du Canada 2019. With greetings from the host society, please welcome the chair of the 2019 Canada Games, Lynn Radford.
In our community, we have a tradition of honoring an exceptional and outstanding service with a red hat. Tonight in Red Deer, Alberta, there are not enough red hats to honor this incredible event. I am humbled to have led such an amazing team in such an amazing community. Tonight, Tonight, I want to close the program with a tip of my red hat to some incredible partners. First, to my fellow Canadians, thank you for your continued support of Canada Games through our funding parties, the Government of Canada, Alberta Sport Connection, and the City of Red Deer. Thank you. Thanks to you, the legacy of the Canada Games lives on. To the sponsors, the donors, and our community partners, whose support ensured we could put on one heck of a show. Thank you to my incredible board, led by honorary co-chairs Ron and Carrie McLean, the staff of the 2019 Games. You took a bold vision of organization to new heights. Through the innovation and creativity, we have delivered a life-shaping experience. Be proud of the legacies you have built for this community. I would like to present a red hat to two incredibly special people on this journey, the other two amigos, Hugh McPherson, Scott Robinson over there. I will never be able to fully express my gratitude to both of you for walking this journey with me, step by step. The incredible volunteers, that's the next group I want to thank. You came from around the world, across the country. You worked out in the bitter cold. You worked extra beyond your regular shifts, and always with a smile and a friendly word. Your compassion was limitless. You brought the authentic value of the organization to life. I am so humbled by everyone that a tip of the hat is not enough. I bow to you now and thank you for what you have done. The next thank you is to my amazing family that has supported this journey, especially my 10 little stars here who have joined me on the stage. To the athletes, the past 2 weeks, you have filled me with the greatest conviction that both the athletic greatness of Canada and the leadership of our country has a very bright future. We have witnessed greatness over and over and over. And it's not just the medals. It's watching your commitment to get to the finish line, the intensity of leaving the field with nothing left, and the incredible compassion that you have shown your fellow competitors. For you, the athletes of 2019, you deserve the biggest Red Hat Award tonight for your accomplishments on and off the field. I wish I had 3,600 hats that I could give out, but maybe these few will tell you how much I admire you. Thank you, and merci. Okay?
And I'm running
We have got the biggest gold medal, unity through sport.
Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, alors que nous honorons le travail acharné des bénévoles des Jeux du Canada, as we pay tribute to the hard work and dedication of Canada Games volunteers, please welcome 26-time CCMA award winner and 3-time Juno nominee, King of Canadian Country, Gord Bamford.
Well, you can top off the old tank, hit the TC highway, flip a nickel, pick a place from the Rock out to BC.
Rubber tips in the console, live right on the radio. Heavy foot on the gas and go anywhere they fly that Maple Leaf.
We got the Blue Jays, we got the Painters, the greatest outdoor show on earth. We got the strongest beer, the biggest buck there. Our roots run deep here in this land. Ain't it grand? Salmon on a walleye, rainbow on a dry fly, sunset on blue sky from a rocking mountain stream.
Hockey night on Saturday, Don Cherry and Ron McLean, looking at the replays and fighting in between.
We got the Blue Jays, we got the Pay Dirt, the greatest outdoor show on earth. We got the strongest beer, the biggest buck there. Our roots run deep here in this land. Ain't it grand?
We are the true North, strong and free.
We live and die for what we believe. We got the Blue Jays, we got the Pay Dirt, the greatest outdoor show on earth. We got the strongest beer, the biggest buck there. Our roots run deep here in this land. Ain't it grand? Ain't it grand? Oh, you can top off the old tank, hit the TC highway, flip a nickel, pick a place from the Rock out to BC. Thank you so much. It's a true honor to be here. I grew up just down the road here in Lacombe, Alberta, 20 minutes from Red Deer, so it's a true pleasure to be here. And yeah, I want to congratulate all the athletes that competed in the games, and it's great to be from Canada and be a proud Canadian and be part of this event here today. So thank you so much. We're going to play another song. This is our brand new single for you right here. Girl, I think it's time for a little me and you, a little cut loose, unwind, Taiwan home. Talking about the two of us, kicking up some dust in my old truck. Yeah, I hope you're up for getting down some old back road, down on the slow road, down to some old school rocking on the radio, down on some long necks, down by the riverside, down in the truck bed, down to
That's the local guy, Gord Bamford, coming up next. We will begin the transition from Red Deer to Niagara 2021.
Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, accueillons maintenant la mairesse. Please welcome Mayor of Red Deer, Tara Veer.
My fellow Canadians, mes chers Canadiens et Canadiennes, over the past 16 days, our village of 37 million people strong has demonstrated the power of sport to unite the people of this great, vast, and adventurous land we call Canada. We have witnessed the fulfillment of long sought after and fought for dreams. We have witnessed life-changing victories and unexpected defeats. We have made this moment ours as a community, as a country, in pursuit of possibilities. Nous avons fait de ce moment le nôtre comme personne, comme communauté et comme pays, en quête de possibilités. For all of this, we are thankful for the Canada Games Council, the local host society, our generous partners, and the more than 5,000 incredible volunteers who made this opportunity possible. To our honorary co-chairs, Ron and Carrie McLean, to our force to be reckoned with Chair Lynn Radford and CEO Scott Robinson and your respective teams, you, my friends, are game changers. From coast to coast to coast, we have all been a part of Canadian history in the making, but our national story does not end here. Our moment does not end here. The young athletes of today will be the Canadian Olympians, sport builders, and country builders of tomorrow. We will remain steadfast in our commitment to the power of the Maple Leaf to unite us all. People of the true North, strong and free, as we pass the flag to our friends in Niagara region, I officially declare the 27th edition, the Red Deer edition of the Canada Games closed. Be proud, be very proud. Thank you, merci.
Portant le drapeau des Jeux du Canada, entering with the Canada Games flag, Host Committee Vice Chair, Hugh McPherson. le drapeau au président des Jeux d'hiver du Canada 2021. And now, presenting the flag to the chair of the 2021 Niagara Region Canada Games, Doug Hamilton.
Summer Games in 2021 are going to Niagara Region. Le drapeau va maintenant vers l'Ontario. The flag is on its way to Ontario. Let's make some noise. Veuillez accueillir, please welcome, Juno Award nominee, Ontario's own Scott Hellman.
Ready? How you guys doing? I said Red Deer. How you guys doing? Let's have some fun, huh? Hey. Can you guys do me a favor? Can you clap your hands like this? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, boom.
I had it in my head, what I meant to say. This conversation isn't going my way. I got bad connection to my mind and my mouth. With the right intentions, all the wrong came out. It's so good to me, be my therapy. Hey! I know that I got hang-ups, so baby, please don't hang up. Just need you to talk to. Yeah, my ego's pretty bad, so please don't turn the pain up. Just need you to talk to. It's all good. Everybody got me crazy, and I got a little more. I'm just saying, don't give up, 'cause I know that I got hang-ups. Hey. Baby, please don't hang up. I had it worked out, what I meant to say. This conversation isn't going my way. Got bad reception to my heart and my head. With the best intentions, it was the worst I said. You're so good to me. Hey, you're my therapy. I know that I got hands, so baby, please don't hang. Just need you to talk to. Yeah, my ego's pretty bad, so please don't turn the pain up. Just need you to talk to. Everybody got me crazy, and I got a little more. I'm just saying, don't give up, 'cause I know that I
place I go where there's no heat, but it never gets cold, and that I know for sure. And there's a rusted gate and a chandelier and a plywood door and a mattress on the floor. And she lays me down so low here under the stars, knowing it won't last long. She'll let them on. Yeah. This is how it goes. This is how it goes. Baby, we're rolling. Just a boat on the ocean, up in the sky, heaven so close. Taking off my clothes, taking off my clothes. Give me a moment. I don't care if you're stolen. Way up high in your sweet little bungalow. She's got a temper, yeah, like a redhead, a tabby cat and a tattoo she regrets. She's a carpenter with a book of bones, got another side that no one really knows. And watching through the window, you smile in the dark, knowing it won't last long. She'll left a mark. Yeah. This is how it goes. This is how it goes. Baby, we're rolling. Just a boat on the ocean, up in the sky, heaven so close. Taking off my clothes, taking off my clothes. Give me a moment. I don't care if you're stolen. Way up high in your sweet little bungalow. She said, no, don't be insecure as long as you kiss me when I walk through your window to your door. No, no, when the light is filled with cold. When nothing matters, when the world is moving slow, I got you in my arms. That was my don't feel low. This is how it goes. This is how it goes. Baby, we're rolling. Just a boat on the ocean, up in the sky, heaven so close. Taking off my clothes, taking off my clothes. Give me a moment. I don't care if you're stolen. Way up high in your sweet little bungalow. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for joining us for the closing ceremony of the 2019 Canada Games. Au plaisir de vous revoir. We will see you in Niagara in 2021.
Well, after watching thousands of athletes compete in more than 150 events over the past 2 weeks, all hosted by the city of Red Deer, you could say it was a golden performance on so many levels. For Katrina Lemaydon, I'm Dustin Nielsen. We'll wrap up our Canada Games coverage on TSN next.
The Red Deer 2019 Canada Winter Games are presented by Nova Chemicals. Everyone agrees plastics do not agree with our oceans, rivers, or anywhere in the environment. Please be responsible while enjoying the games. By Finning Canada, proud partner of the Canada Winter Games and our athletes. By Driving Force, vehicle rentals, sales, and leasing, proud to be the fleet provider for Canada's Winter Games. By ATCO, proud sponsor and official energy provider of the 2019 Canada Winter Games. And by the Government of Canada, proud supporter of the 2019 Canada Winter Games.
Well, the Canada Winter Games in Red Deer, Alberta officially has come to a close with the closing ceremony just wrapped up. But let's get you caught up on all the hockey action earlier, which finished off this day 14 with the Bank bronze medal game. Ontario taking on BC. Third period, Nina Jobe-Smith from the point through a screen finds the back of the net, and that ties things up. 5 minutes later, Ann Czerkowski streaking down the wing. She gets it to go far side. BC jumps ahead. Less than 20 seconds later, Shanrit Bassey from the top of the circle gets the shot to go between the defender's legs and into the back of the net to take a 2-goal lead. BC taking home its first medal in women's hockey since the year 1991 with a 5-4 final. To the gold medal game, Quebec and Alberta, first period. Cassie Bettenau on the power play. She scores her third of the tournament as Alberta strikes the first. To the second period now. Alberta pressing. Jaden Bogdan sneaks in, takes the backhand pass, and buries her first goal of the tournament. Alberta coming off a thrilling overtime victory in the semis, doubled their lead, and it's 2-0. Late second we go now. Alberta shorthanded. A little bit of a bad clearing attempt here in Quebec. Takes full advantage of it. Point shot redirected by Brianna Ware. Quebec looking for back-to-back gold medals at the games. Cut the deficit to just one. The crowd getting into it. Third period, Alberta hanging on to a 1-goal lead, and it's their netminder going to work here. Bella McKee making huge save after huge save. Quebec keeps coming out of the corner, but McKee standing her ground. Under 10 to go in the third. Off the face-off, McKee stretches to make an unbelievable diving save, robbing Marianne Picard of the game-tying goal. She's in disbelief. Under 3 minutes to go now. Quebec trying to equalize, and it's Alexandre-Anne Boyer. Doesn't get enough on the backhand. That hits the side of the net. It is Alberta who hangs on to win gold at home. Fantastic performance from Bella McKee, making 30 huge saves. 2-1 your final as Alberta taking home gold. And when we return, we wrap up the Canada Winter Games in Red Deer, Alberta. As we take a look at the last 14 days that was in Red Deer, Alberta, Quebec coming out on top. 146 medals total, including 65 gold medals. Yukon getting on the board with 1 bronze medal, while New Brunswick finishing the Canada Games with 9. We had 40 hours of coverage over 2 weeks at the Red Deer Canada Winter Games, and we want to thank you from our TSN crew for following us along as we followed the journeys of the generation's next rising stars in sport. 2021, the region of Niagara. We'll see you then.
Press a button, look, ma. No hands is freedom. Flip flop, mountaintop. When it comes, I gotta rock. No rhyme or reason. Se donner sans compter les efforts récompensés. Je sais ce que ça veut dire. Mise en jeu supersonique, émotion supersonique. Besoin de ressentir. And I'm running far. Et pour tout apprendre, j'irai jusqu'au bout. Jump, start, ballpark, pick me up before it's dark. Gonna do some healing. Cœur qui bat, fonce droit, super héros ne lâche pas, même au moment difficile. Feeling first, quenching thirst, it's a blessing and a curse. Put on Everything I've worked for has come to life, and I'm running